I'm Selma Teacher 7, also known as Mr. Barry by my students, and today I'll be showing how I use my Acer Chromebook. I'll be using the Acer Chromebook 15, model number CB5571. Alrighty, well, let's get started with the mini lesson. This short mini lesson, which I don't know how short it's going to be, I'm not using a script. I just want to show you exactly how I use my Chromebook. And you're looking at my Chromebook's desktop right now, what I have on it. I'm recording right now with it. I have my Google Drive open, which I'm going to describe what that is in a moment. And then I have another window over here, my main work area for today. Normally, I'm not recording myself in this way. Okay, so first off, for those who are brand new to the Google ecosystem, what's it all about? Well, in the past, your apps, your data, like all of my data, all of my books that I've written, like my Microsoft Office User Specialist book and my smartphone repair book and my Google books and all that, normally all that would be stored where? Well, you might store it on your hard drive or an external hard drive. You might have it on CDs, right? Something locally here. But now with your Google account, all those things are in the cloud. They're inside your Google account. So you might think of like your Google account and all of your data is there saved for you. Just to let you know, you can enable offline support within the Google Drive. And when you do, what happens is it makes a copy onto your local machine, whatever computer or laptop that you log into. So if I go in, and here I'm working on the side window, as you can see here, I go into my settings and then go into settings from there. And notice what we have. It says offline is turned on. Sync Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, Drawings, Files to the computer so that you can edit and work with your stuff offline. That means when you're not connected to the internet. So that's wonderful news. I'm going to click on done. So again, that was clicking on the gear and going to settings, and it says offline. So you want to make sure that you check that on so that you can work with your material when you're not on the internet. So that's great. And the next thing that I want to talk about too is a lot of people downplay what a Chromebook can do. They say, well, it's just a web browser. Well, as you can see, what I'm doing here, it's far beyond a web browser. It's a word processor, so I can edit my books, all my work here that I do. I can go in and make videos with it, as you see me doing right now. I can go in and work with Microsoft Word documents as well. In the past, I used to work solely with Microsoft Word. And so what I did was I installed the app called Microsoft Office onto my Google account. And then whenever I log into my Google account, whether or not that machine has Microsoft Word and Excel and all that installed, I have access to it from the online. Now, some people have commented, they said, well, there's fewer features. Well, yeah. You don't have the word art and there's a few other things, but those are very minor. I could still actually work with my books and make flyers, make posters and everything else that I create normally in a normal Word environment and create it in the online version of Microsoft Word. I kind of dropped Microsoft Office here in the last few years. And I don't use it quite as often as I do. Now I do everything in what's called Google Docs. So if we go into your Google Drive again here, click on New, and notice it says Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides, and there's more there. Now, when you create your document, you can download it as a Microsoft Word document if you want to, and then share it with others, and the people would never know that you created it in Google Docs. Also, Google Docs does have word art. Where do you find it? You go to Insert and then Drawing, and click on the actions buttons, and there's WordArt, and all of the features are there. Okay, now, how else do I make my Chromebook useful? Well, I go into apps. So I'm going to show you where the App Store is and how to find it, how to install apps, and how to uninstall apps from your Google account. Okay, first off, about these apps here, how do you find them? How do you find all the apps? If you look at the bottom of your screen here that you can see on my screen, this is called the shelf. And the shelf has all these icons on it. You can add more icons by simply right-clicking on an icon of an app and then selecting Pin to Shelf, and it'll appear down here as you see mine. The ones with the dots, they're active. So I have my email up, I have some browsers up, and of course I'm recording this right now. And so that has a dot on it. If you look at the lower right-hand side of the screen, you see my avatar assigned for my battery, my Wi-Fi, and then you see a little arrow pointing up. That means there's an update available. So if I click it, it says restart to update, and it says which Wi-Fi I'm connected to, and so there's other settings, volume, and all that. Okay, so let's say you just got a Chromebook and you want to start using it to find more apps. You go down here to the app launcher. It's a circle right here. I click it, and I see the apps that I've already installed on my machine. If I go to all apps, you'll see that I've installed quite a few different apps on my Google account. And let's go here to the front page, and we have the web store. Now the web store is where I can find more apps. If you look right away, you already see Microsoft's OneDrive, Microsoft Word Online, also have Open Office. So I have many options for productive applications, but I also have games on there too. GIMP, for example, is another good one. Let's go to Web Store real fast. And here we are. Now you can go to the Web Store on any type of machine. You don't have to be using a Chromebook to get here. And you type in the item that you want to find, or let's say you had something specific in mind already, and you say, well, I want to be able to use something offline. Well, guess what? Features runs offline. That means you don't have to have the internet connection after you've installed it and started it at least once. So you click on runs offline, and let's look for that. Here we go. So we have Google Keep and all these others. Yeah, Google Keep. Save to Google Keep in a single click. All right, so you have all these others that are offline apps, and you just go down the list. There's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of apps that run offline. So if you wanted to narrow the search even more, you could go in here and say categories and say, well, I want to go with productivity. All right, let's make our Chromebook productive. And now you go down the list, and there's so many different apps that you can be installing. Now, these are all Google Chrome, basically, so they run within your browser, but they can also run on a separate window. And there's just so many of different apps. I go in and let's just click in something here, and let's type in Office. And so here we have Microsoft's Office Online. View, edit, and create Office files in your browser. You go down here to these different apps. Now these apps here, like my Word and a PowerPoint, there's two that I use. If you've already installed the app, you'll say rate it. If you want to add it, so let's add PowerPoint to my Google account here. So I click on add to Chrome, and it comes up, and here's the confirmation. Do you wish to add? I say yes, let's add the app. It downloads it. You see it there downloading, and it has it. Okay, so now you've just learned how to install an app. That's great. How do you find the app once you've installed it? Well, go down here to the lower corner down here in the corner and click on the little circle. That's the app launcher. And there it is. There's the PowerPoint app. Now, if you don't see it there, just click on All Apps and you can be able to find it in the All Apps. Let's go all the way to the end here. So that's one way, is just to do a brute search of it like that. Or you could just click up here and do PowerPoint, and there it comes up. As soon as you type in part of the name, the app that you've installed comes up. But like I said, the easiest way is when you first click on the app launcher, it comes up and any recently worked with apps come right there. Now, what I want to do is show you, what if you have an app and you use it a lot? Well, maybe you want it down here on the shelf. To do that, all you have to do is take your mouse and then right-click on one of the apps that you want to use quite often. So I'm going to right-click PowerPoint, Microsoft's PowerPoint. And whenever you right-click on it, you should get a context menu that pops out. And just click on Pin to Shelf. And now you see it at the bottom of your screen there. There we go. It's right there, as you can see, as I'm trying to point backwards here. And then you can use it by simply clicking on it. Next, let's go in and let's say that you're working with the app, and what other things can you do with the apps as far as installing or uninstalling them? Well, let me show you that how to uninstall them now. Go over to the corner here where it says Control or Customize and Control Google Chrome. You click it and a menu will come down, and right away you see More Tools. Go to More Tools and then Extensions. That's one way to find this. There's other ways to actually find this, but that's the way I found to be easiest for me. Click on Extensions. It comes up and it shows all the extensions, the apps that you're using. Now, on these, I'm going to show you which ones that I like and that I use most often. I have Acer Games. I really don't have time for games right now. I'm so busy. I work with YouTube and my lessons all day long. But if you don't want it enabled, that is running in the background, you just click on Enabled, and now it's light gray, and that means it's not enabled, it's disabled. You still have the app technically in your Google account, but it's not working in the background. It's not updating itself, it's not doing other things. And if you totally didn't want it, you just click on the trash can, and that would remove it from your Google account totally. All right, here's another one that I like to use. It's called AdBlock Plus. It's a free, all these are free apps, by the way. AdBlock Plus, what it does is it goes in and it turns off the ads that you'd see before YouTube videos. So if you don't like seeing those ads that start up before a YouTube video, do AdBlock Plus. It takes them out. It also takes out other ads that you might find in other websites. Next, let's go with Avast Online Security. And that one here, right when I enabled it, you see it comes up here, and you can kind of see it beginning to turn on there. Basically, it's safe browsing. So if you go to a site that's a phishing website that's trying to get information from you, then that will block that. So that's kind of nice. It's called Avast Online Security. Also, Avast Safe Place is another one that you could be using. And then we have, I like to study the Bible, and that's called Bible Search. I'm not using it right this day, so I have it disabled. And then there's calculators. Now, you don't really need to have a calculator, because right when you open up a new browser window and you say something like, okay, Google, 18 times 4, it gives you the answer. And there it is, 72. As if that was, so you don't need
18 by 4 is 72.
There you go. Thank you, Google. And notice I just had to say the magic words of okay and then Google. And look at that, it heard it. And I'm going to turn off that window. and it will do exactly what you ask it to do. So if you just say those numbers like what we did there, 18 times 4, it'll give you the answer, 72. It'll also speak it out back to you as you heard it done today. So you don't need to have another calculator app. The camera app, well, guess what? I'm using it right now, as you can see in the lower corner. I'm using the Chrome App Builder that allows people to build their own apps for whatever reasons they need to. I have that one disabled. And then Chrome Connectivity Diagnostics. So if I'm diagnosed a problem of why I can't get connected to the internet with one of my Chromebooks, I use that one there. So I work with a lot of different Chromebooks, and sometimes I like to run benchmarking utilities on some of those, and so that's what you see a lot of these different apps are there for, like the recovery utility, as well as right here, the CR Expert. Basically, that's performance and battery life benchmarking. Okay, so it's kind of nice to see exactly how the batteries are on these different models, different brands of Chromebooks. Another one that I use is called Countdown Timer. So if I have a roast in the oven and I don't want it to burn, I can just turn on the timer and say 30 minutes or whatever I want on there, and it will count down, and when it's done, it will buzz and make a very loud buzzing sound. I do have some games on here, so like Crackling Sands Racing. That's kind of like a real fun racing game where you're driving these little cars and you're racing against other people and stuff like that. So that's a game there. Cut the Rope. Cut the Rope. That's a very famous game. And that one, I play that one on a Chromebook. Earth View from Google Earth. Basically, you get beautiful shots of the Earth that you can use for backgrounds or other things there. I do watch movies and play movies on my Chromebook, and I use different players. This is one of them. It's called the WM Player to allow me to watch WMV or MPEG videos. And a lot of times people will give me a video, say, oh, here's a show or whatever, and it'll be in that format. Well, this allows me to watch those types of files. Evernote is a wonderful app that allows you to basically write down your thoughts on there. I have XFIF Viewer. This views images data. So I work a lot with images, and if I want to change some of the data within them, that's the app that I use for that. Ghostery, as you can see there, it's enabled, and I'm using it right now. When you go to a web page like at eBay or Newegg or any place, Facebook, believe it or not, but there's stuff that comes up and it's tracking your browsing activity, okay? And some people are paranoid. They don't want that going on. They don't want Facebook or eBay to just track you and watch everything that you do. So Ghostery, what that does is it blocks that. And I have it enabled. You can, if you want to, disable it and do other things there. But I like it, and it works for me. Another one is my Google Docs. That's enabled. I also have Google Docs offline. That allows me to create my documents, spreadsheets, and other things right offline. And then I have Google Hangouts. That allows me to make phone calls. So I can call someone at their home phone using my Chromebook. I can also call their cell phone or other devices. Now, Google Hangouts is very similar to Skype. Skype in the past, maybe you've probably heard of it 10 or 20 years ago. Skype allows you to do video calling. Well, so does Google Hangouts. The thing that I like about Google Hangouts does have some benefits. One is you can talk to up to 10 people at the same time. 2, it's free. I can call someone on their telephone if I want to, and it's totally free. If the person is, let's say it's an international call, there are very good international rates. So if someone is in Japan or in China, it's very low cost. But here's the deal. You want to do it for free? Just have them use their cell phone, and then it's free. Because they can download the app called Google Hangouts on their smartphone or whatever device they're using. It could be on their Chromebook or on their machine, their computer. And then when you type in their email address, it'll call that device. And it's free. So you can call China, Japan, Mexico, wherever you want to call, and it's 100% free from a Google Hangouts app to another person who has Google Hangouts. And that's wonderful. So I do use Google Hangouts quite often to do all my free calling around the world. And then we have another one that I use there is Google Play Movies and TV. This allows me to watch TV and movies for free. It's kind of similar to Netflix or PureFlix that other people use, which are also two different apps that you can install on your machine. Google Sheets allows me to make my spreadsheets. I create a lot of different spreadsheets to understand data, because a lot of times I'll be benchmarking maybe 20 different Chromebooks at one time for a job for somebody else. And if I just gave that data out, just the numbers of it, they have to read everything, and really there's a lot of digesting of that data. What spreadsheets does is allows me to put in those numbers, and then it'll make a chart for you. And then you can say, all right, this one is 15% faster than this one over here, and you can actually see it in that chart. So spreadsheets is kind of useful for explaining numerical data in a way that people can really understand it. Google Slides, basically it's a replacement for your Microsoft's PowerPoint. I have it enabled because I use that a lot. And then we have the H.265 and the HEVC player. Now, if you don't know what those are, don't worry, you might need to use it one day. Here we go. It allows playback for videos of that form factor or that extension. A lot of times people will give me a video and say, here you go, Mr. Barry, here's a video. And they give it to me on a jump drive or something, or they email it to me, whatever. And if you don't have that player, it won't play those types of videos. So this is very handy for playing those types of videos. There's a lot of different apps for learning different languages. I love learning, languages and stuff like this. So this is one of those. iHeartRadio turns your Chromebook or any of your machines that's running the Chrome browser into a radio. So it's international radio stations. That means all around the world, and it's free. You can go in and type in what genre or what kind of music you like, or if it's talk radio, you can actually put in what kind of talk radio you want, and it brings it up. So iHeartRadio is great, and it has basically every station that's out there. You just type in like KRDU, and it brings up the station for you, and you're listening to it live. The other one that I use quite often is called Invisible Hand. And when I'm doing shopping, Invisible Hand will go out, and when it sees that I'm doing shopping, let's say I'm looking for a Chromebook, it will find that same model of Chromebook, maybe from another place like Walmart or Amazon, wherever, and it says, hey, it's $15 less here for the same thing. Why not, right? So Invisible Hand is good for comparing prices and finding the best price for any part that you're looking for. Momentum. Basically, I don't use that one. It replaces your new tab that usually looks like this. So here's new tab, and it shows all your stuff there. If you don't want that, you can use Momentum to customize that page, and I didn't need it. Murder Files is just another game. My Chrome theme, you can change your theme, the colors of your Chrome browser. Didn't need it. I'm just using the stock colors, and I'm happy with it. New tab helper. Again, you can enhance the new tab with this tool. I wasn't happy with it, so I just disabled it. Now let's say that I wanted to uninstall it. I click here on this icon, and it would remove it from my Chrome account. Another one that I use quite often is called Octane. Now you can find Octane, it's just a web page that you can actually go to. But if you want the app, which I do, you can have it here. And what it does, it will run a series of benchmarking tests on your computer. And then it'll spit out these numbers, and you can compare those numbers with other devices that you've tested, or other people, other users, and what they've tested to see which one is faster. This is really a great way to see how fast your computer is. And then I have Office Online, that's Microsoft Office, allow me to create, edit Microsoft documents. And then I have more of those. Basically, it's the same thing, so I didn't need them, so I disabled them. Org Sample Browser, basically this is a 3D animation, and it's testing your browser and how well it can do 3D animation. Now, if you have a discrete video card, such as an NVIDIA, EVGA, or something like that video card, of course it will score really high and it's very, very smooth. If you don't have that, you can see a little bit less of the performance as you go with lower cost video cards. So this is basically test your video card performance. Another one that I use quite often is called Pluto TV. Yes, watch TV on the internet for free. There's literally hundreds of TV channels, and guess what? It is free. You do get the commercials. Now, AdBlock does not block TV commercials because they're just streaming commercials that you get with the channel, with the station that you're watching. So if you're watching local TV or whatever it is, of course, AdBlock is not going to block those. But it's free. It's just watching regular free TV. You don't have to have an antenna. You don't have to have a TV or anything. You just have your Chromebook, install this app, and now you get to watch hundreds of different TV stations, and it's great. PowerSchool login. If you have children in school, basically you can see how their grades are going. PriceBlink, coupons and price comparison. That is a free app that what it does is, if you're looking for like a refrigerator or whatever it is, if you're looking for an appliance or an item, then what happens is PriceBlink will go and find the exact same item and give you the best price. It's the same as that other app that we showed earlier. Screen record, it's enabled, and guess what? I'm using it right now to record my entire screen for you. And it saves it as a file right on the hard drive. So it's doing that. Singing Bow, if you like to meditate, take some time and just meditate, I guess. The Singing Bow will give you harmonics in the background to meditate with. Basically, it's just a meditating tool. For those who like solitaire, there's many different types of solitaire. There's solitaire, and spider solitaire. There's actually hundreds of solitaire apps out there. But guess what? There's one that surpasses all the others, and that's this one right here. And I'll maybe show you that one later, but it's the one with the king, and he has a sword, and it says solitaire with a green background. And this one, it runs offline. So if you're in the car as a passenger, and let's say you're sitting in the back seat, and you just want to play solitaire on your Chromebook, boom, there you go. And it's enabled on mine because I do enjoy that one during off time. System, as I said earlier, I look at basically hundreds of different Chromebooks and compare them. And like I said, I have my favorite. My favorite is the Chromebook Acer 15. So it's Acer Chromebook 15 model CB5571. That'd be my favorite one. And this app right here is called the System. What's in your computer? System provides a lot of technical infos about your computer. I run that app on all the different Chromebooks that I'm looking at or testing. And guess what? The Acer Chromebook 15 model number CB5571 is the most bang for your dollar. So yeah, I think I found it at Groupon.com for it was $160, $169, something like that. And that's what's recording right now and doing all this work for me. So it allows me to make my videos and everything else. Okay, what's another one that I use quite a lot? Twerk. You go, what in the world is that, Mr. Barry? Twerk? Come on. Well, actually, Twerk is an Android. It allows me to play Android apps or run with Android apps right on my Chromebook. And right now I'm not using it, so I have it disabled. But if I have it enabled and I go in and I've installed an Android app on my Chromebook, it allows me to run it. Typing Club is another one there, and it allows you to improve your typing skills. It's free. Video Player, VOC, and video streaming for Google Chromecast. All those have something in common, and that's the word video, and that allows me to play videos. VLC, anyone who has a Windows machine, their ears will perk up when you say VLC. That is a very common media player for playing music, movies, and all different types of file formats. I have it on my Chromebook because I don't know how I'm going to receive a movie file. Sometimes I'll have a friend that says, here's a show on my jump drive, go ahead and I'll download it to my Chromebook, and then VLC will perk up and will play that video for me. So it's really great to have. Webquake, for those who like to play first-person shooter games. You say, on a Chromebook? Are you kidding me? Yes, you can do it. There's Quake, there's Wolfenstein 3D, which I've played, as well as a number of other 3D games, first-person 3D games, I should say, that play quite well on my Chromebook. Then we have ZenMate. I don't really use ZenMate. That's a virtual private network that allows you to basically, if you're doing a lot of work, you want to be encrypted. I'm not using it right now. And so if you wanted to uninstall it, you just click on the trash can here, and that would uninstall that app for you. All right, so we've done a lot already for this little mini lesson. We've learned how to install apps by going here to the little circle and then clicking on the web store, typing in a word or looking for a specific apps by going in, like you can go by category. So if you go in runs offline and then you go by the categories, you can do a lot of different things there. There's the categories. See all the different categories. Then we have photo, productivity, search tools, shopping, social, sports. A lot of people like to watch sports online. There you go. That's that. There's a lot of different games and under fun. So there's so many categories. Really, there's just so much that you can do now with your Chromebook. We've gone in how to uninstall them or how to work with your applications too once you have them on. We've also talked how to add extensions down here to the corner. Again, you just click on your app launcher, and then you'd right click on the app, say pin to shelf, and it comes down here. Okay, now again, so I pinned a app here. If you don't want it, right click it and say unpin, and it takes it off there. Other things I do with my Chromebook is, what I do with my Chrome account is it links all of my devices together. So I can go to a new tab. Let me close off some of these here. Go to a new tab, click on your avatar, go to my account, and this is the center for your account. I mean, everything is there. So you have your sign-in security, your personal info, privacy, account preferences, and everything else that you can actually go in and change. If I go to device activity, I'll go here and it will show me all my devices that I'm logged in with. So let me go review. It says plus 13 more. So here's the devices. I'm on my Chromebook. Also, I have a Windows machine over here that's running for me, doing some chores. I have some smartphones and other machines. So here's a few of the other machines that I've been using recently, in the last month at least. If I wanted to, I can actually click on one of these devices, such as this smartphone, and I could say, well, if I've lost the device, I just click on lost the device. You type in your password. Once you type in your password, click on sign in, and we have all these options, such I can ring the device or I can locate it. So if you really have lost it, click on locate, and it's going to find the device. Wow, it's in the United States. There we go. After a second or two, it has found it, and it's pinpointed it to this spot here. And it can actually, I'm not going to zoom in so much, but it'll actually show it which area it's in the house. And if you wait longer, this accuracy will actually improve over time. And you can refresh the page and get it down to just, usually I've seen it down to a few meters, like maybe 4 or 5 meters. Okay, if it is stolen, you can lock it or erase it and erase all of your data off the phone. If something, if you do suspect foul play, like you've lost it and someone else has it now. Okay, so that's one of the things I do with my Google account. Another thing that I do is, if I go in here, you go back. So I'm in this area here, and go all the way back here so you can see. I'm back here to control, protect, and secure your account all in one place. Well, if I go here and I click on manage your Google activity, I click it, and right away you see a map. You go, I wonder what that map is for. Well, go to activity controls, and there's the map. It's called location history. By default, it's usually turned off, but mine's turned on because I just want to do that. And you can click on manage your activity and see all of your activity, as in where have you gone physically with your cell phones anyway. And so here you can see everywhere that I've gone. So I've gone to all these places. And if you click on a day, so let me click on a day here. And it shows exactly where I went to on that day. So yesterday, on Friday, you see I went to Citibank, I went to Great Western Elementary School, I did some work here in town, I went to Walmart, I went to Dunlap Learning Academy. And not only that, but it also shows over here exactly how long I was at any place, and if I took photographs. So here I took pictures of my classroom, and you can see those pictures there. So how long I was at any place, you see the time there. And then driving for 8 minutes, and then I was home after that. So it really keeps close tabs of all of your activity. This, people say, oh no, you mean it's watching everything I do? It's all private information. No one else sees this. NSA does not see this. This information is only accessible by you with your password. So if you give your password away to someone, well then yeah, they can see this. But if you don't give your password to anyone, well, this information then remains private, and it's encrypted, by the way, which is kind of nice. Here you can see actually it's secured, and I can click here, and so you can see the security information. I won't do that right now, but it is 256-bit encryption. So it is protecting your information for you. Okay, let's now go on from the timeline here, and I can go back out of this. That was all in what's called location history, and remember, that's all safe. No one else sees this. So really, if you keep your cell phone with you, you shouldn't be able to disappear. And there's more controls and more activities that you can actually work with. And but I won't work with it today right now. So let me close off that. And now what I'm going to show you is some of these other apps that I use. So I'll go down here to my app launcher, and down here, this is what I'm going to click there, and we have files. Now I'll open up files. Here's all of your files, and this is the File Explorer. And we can go to My Drive, also shared with me, recently used, offline files, and then you have a special download folders, just like you would in a Windows machine. And so here's some files I've downloaded. As you can see, I've been working with Chromebook Usefulness for these videos. And you say, well, how would I manage or work with these? Well, if you just double click it, you'll start playing that video. But if you let's say I right click it, you can go and all these options here. I can rename it. So if I wanted to rename this one Webcam Toy Video, I do that, and then you click outside of it. There you go. So renaming is real easy. You just right click it and then say rename. You could also have get info, delete the file. So if I wanted to delete one of these files, I click on delete, and it says, are you sure you wish to delete this screenshot? And well, I don't need that one anymore, so sure. And now it's gone off of your machine there. You have different ways of viewing your work. So right now we can go thumbnail view, but I'm doing a list view. That's why it's showing me the list. I can sort it A, Z, or different sort options to sort my work. And I have different settings for my File Explorer. Okay, to close it, you just click on close. And so you saw the File Explorer opens up in its own separate window. Many of the games and other apps also open up in a separate window, and you actually use these offline. So let me go in to the app launcher again here. And now what I'm going to do is go to all apps and show you, let's go there's Solitaire right here. And for those who like Solitaire, you can see how this one works. Now with Solitaire, you can go in, and here's some basic ways of playing. So let's say I like Klondike. I'll click it, and there we go. There are settings in here so that you can, there's a settings over here where it says more. And you can turn on sounds. You can also have them flip, and you can change the background images. Right now it's this blue card, but yes, you have more options here, and there they are. The appearance, change the options. I'm not going to go in there. That's for you to have fun with, but it's really easy to play with this one here, and have fun with your Solitaire. I'm going to close this off. So now you know you have Solitaire, and it opens up in its own window too. So I'm going to go back now to the window down there and start up this and see what other apps that I use. I also use the GIMP. A lot of my students do use GIMP to edit and create not videos, but images. And you see it's right here. It runs perfectly on a Chromebook. Webcam Toy, I'm actually using that one right now too. Here's Word Online. So if I click on Word Online, here's Word Online, and you go in and you sign into your Microsoft account. After signing into your Microsoft account, and any news, there's like shows you what's new here, and they're always adding new things for you because they want more people to use the Word Online features. Here's recently used documents, and there's also templates here. So if I open up one of these, like document 1, Okay, it opens up here, and I haven't done anything within the document, but you can see here's Word Online, and you have your banners. Some people like the banners. They're not my favorite things to do, but if you click on the first icon, there you go. So home banner, have all my tools there for home. Insert, I can insert pictures, online pictures. I can do other things there. Page layout, change my orientation, margins, review, view, and I can close that one off. Now I get to show you what I use. Normally what I'll use is I go to my Google Drive, and once the Google Drive loads, I simply go to New, and I'll go to Google Docs, and my Google Docs word processor opens. And notice I have the very familiar like File and Edit and View and all those, Insert. Someone said, well, how do you find word art? Well, it's a little bit different now. You go Insert, Drawing. The drawing window will open, click on Actions, and there's word art. And it opens up a dialog box. I can type in a word such as word art, hit enter, and there's my word art. Now I can change the fill color. Say if I want it red. I can change the angle. Let's say let me change the font style. And I can also resize it. And then when I'm happy with it, I simply click on Save and Close. And there you go. Now I have my word art. So yes, you can do word art in Google Docs. So there you have it. You can play games. You can create, edit Word documents or Google Documents. You can do things offline. You can use it for a video camera. As you see, here I am. I'm recording on my Chromebook, making videos with it. Do anything that you can think of there and have fun with your Chromebook. So hopefully in this little mini lesson, which has ran a little bit longer than I suspected it would last there. But in this little lesson, we've gone over how to install apps, uninstall apps, and everything else with making your Chromebook useful. So make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you again. Bye-bye.